Hey there. So there's a whole lot of political discussion going on lately, especially concerning the Second Amendment and various other things. And I don't normally discuss my opinions on most politics because my brain does not work like everyone else's, and I see things from an angle that other people don't. I either confuse or upset people a lot of times. But I figured I'd throw this little video out there because I'm seeing some things that to me are glaringly obvious that people are missing. And I think people need to see these things so that they can get a better idea of what's actually going on. Looking at the Uvalde shooting, the school shooting, and people are getting upset because the Uvalde police did not go in and save those children. They stayed out. I guess there were several instances where an officer could have stopped the shooter and didn't. And people are calling out, you need to sue the police, you need to fire them all. Well, that's not going to happen. And let me explain why. I've got some little notes here because I can never remember the actual case names. The Supreme Court has ruled twice, I think maybe more than that, but I know of two cases where they have ruled the police are not obligated to protect you. And in fact, they ruled in the one case that the government in general is not required to protect you. You can look them up. The cases are 1989 DeShaney versus Winnebago County, and that's an instance where a boy was abused, and I guess a social worker or something, I can't remember the whole case, I'd have to go back and read it again, but basically social services did not take certain steps to make sure the boy did not get abused by his, I believe, father. And so there was a lawsuit there. And the court said, no, they're not obligated to protect you. And that's an instance where the government, it's a social worker, is not obligated to protect you. And the other case is 2005, it's Castle Rock versus Gonzalez, where a woman had an order of protection against her ex-husband. And the ex-husband kidnapped and murdered their children and violated the court order. And she sued the police because the police did not do anything to protect her. And they're not required to. And if you look through the decision, when the Supreme Court writes decisions, there's a whole lot more information in the decision than just the specific instance that the case is referring to. They will add things to it. So you need to read the whole thing because you're going to get a lot of a legal opinion in there that changes many things. You can see the Supreme Court recently did that when they ruled against the EPA, when they stated that the EPA could not regulate emissions from power plants. The way they wrote it is that no administrative authority can enforce anything that Congress hasn't specifically given them the right to enforce. It has to be very specific from Congress. And that's not just, the EPA can't regulate emissions. That affects all the political or the governmental agencies. That's going to regulate the ATF. That's going to regulate the BLM. BLM out here is a big deal. I'm in Arizona. The BLM likes to push people around, likes to push the ranchers around and tell them what they can do. Guess what? A lot of that's going to go away now because of the way that EPA decision was written. Now, something that people don't see, and I don't know why a lawyer hasn't picked this up yet, the Supreme Court has ruled police don't have to protect you. The government is not required to protect you. Well, that just reinforces my right to own and carry a firearm. Because if the police are not required to protect me, then I am required to protect myself. And if the government is not allowing me the means to protect myself, that is where the lawsuit comes from. Because they're not providing it and they're not allowing you to provide it for yourself. And I think that if we can get a smart lawyer out there who will actually pick up that flag and run with it, you might get somewhere. Because with Uvalde especially, you have lots of video. Nowadays there's video on everything. You have lots of video of parents trying to get in and save their children, and the police were stopping them. That is the fight you take. The police did not let you protect your child, and they were not going to protect your child. That's the lawsuit you file. That's the case you bring to the city when you want to fire them. They prevented you from your right to protect your child. And I'm hoping somebody takes it up, because that's really the only way you're going to get anywhere. Because the Supreme Court's already ruled the government's not your protector. Have a nice day.